มูลที่มีประโยชน์ให้กับเพื่อนๆของเราได้นะคะย้ำกันอีกครั้งนะคะนี่คือหนังสือ Blockchain for Government Services ค่ะการใช้เทคโนโลยี Blockchain สำหรับภาครัฐนะคะก็เป็นหนังสือที่มีประโยชน์มากๆเลยค่ะรูปก็สวยนะคะข้างในอ่านง่ายค่ะและท่านใดนะคะที่อยากได้หูฟังแปลภาษาก็ยังมีเวลานะคะเดินไปที่ด้านหลังของทุกท่านนะคะไปที่โต๊ะลงทะเบียนนะคะแล้วก็เอาบัตรประชาชนไปแลกมาเพื่อที่จะฟังเพราะว่าเดี๋ยววิทยากรนะคะจะพูดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษค่ะแล้วเดี๋ยวหูฟังนี้ก็จะแปลให้แบบเรียลไทม์ก็จะได้ฟังเข้าใจไปพร้อมๆกันนะคะเอาละค่ะและลำดับต่อไปนี้นะคะเราก็ได้รับเกียรติจากวิทยากรจากประเทศเอสโตเนียค่ะท่านเป็นผู้ที่ประสบความสำเร็จในการใช้ดิจิทัลในการบริหารงานภาครัฐได้เป็นอย่างดีนะคะท่านก็คือมิสเตอร์มาร์เทนคาวัตส์นะคะ National Digital Advisor Government of Estonia ค่ะหัวข้อในการบรรยายก็คือ Digital Government Estonia Case Study นะคะ and now I would like to invite our speaker Mr. Marten Kaevats the National Digital Advisor Government of Estonia welcome our speaker all right good afternoon
hello
and welcome to Thailand
thank you I really love your country
oh that's nice and it is our great pleasure that have you here to share about the story in Estonia with us but anyway can you tell us a little bit before we started the talk about your responsibility in your country
so I'm the National Digital Advisor of Estonia, which makes me responsible for information society and innovation. This means I'm responsible for everything digital in Estonia, and also especially all of the new stuff, all of the sexy stuff like artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, well, blockchain also, but all of the stuff.
All kind of new technologies.
Yes. So I'm an architect city planner by education, and my job is to explain the people and the society how those new technologies can change their lives for the good, and also change the government so that these technologies would be enabled.
ก็รับผิดชอบในส่วนพูดง่ายๆเลยนะคะก็ทุกอย่างที่เป็นดิจิทัลที่เอสโตเนียนะคะในรัฐบาลของเอสโตเนียค่ะแล้วก็รวมไปถึงพวกเทคโนโลยีต่างๆนะคะที่เป็นเทคโนโลยีสมัยใหม่อย่าง AI นะคะอย่างautonomous car แบบนี้นะคะก็เป็นสิ่งที่ทางวิทยากรของเรานะคะมิสเตอร์มาร์เทนเนี่ยรับผิดชอบแล้วก็ทำให้สังคมเนี่ยเข้าใจว่าเทคโนโลยีหรือว่าดิจิทัลต่างๆเนี่ยจะมาทำให้ชีวิตของเราดีได้อย่างไรจะมาทำให้รัฐบาลเนี่ยดีได้อย่างไรทำงานได้ดีขึ้นอย่างไรนะคะ Alright and so what are you going to talk today?
So I'm going to try to give you a basic overview how the digital society actually works. We have been building this for 25 years. We are considered as one of the most advanced digital governments globally. Few of the basics which can be easily copied here in Thailand as well. The size doesn't matter. Thailand is roughly 50 times bigger than Estonia. Estonia is a small country.
Okay.
But the principles how a government can work are something that are quite generic, and other governments are already taking the example. For example, Japan took the national ID card system. Germany, France, California, and other countries are following. So the size doesn't matter. This kind of ideas and concepts are fully implementable also in Thailand or in other places.
ถึงแม้ว่าเอสโตเนียเนี่ยจะเป็นประเทศที่เทียบกันแล้วก็คือเล็กกว่าประเทศไทยนะคะแต่ว่าไซส์เนี่ยไม่ใช่เรื่องสำคัญนะคะอยู่ที่ไอเดียค่ะที่เราจะเอาเรื่องของเทคโนโลยีแล้วก็ดิจิทัลเนี่ยมาใช้นะคะในการที่จะพัฒนาสังคมพัฒนาชีวิตความเป็นอยู่พัฒนาการทำงานของรัฐบาลนะคะซึ่งเดี๋ยวก็จะได้พูดถึงเรื่องนี้กันเลยนะคะว่าการนำเทคโนโลยีมาใช้พัฒนาให้กับสังคมแล้วก็การบริหารงานของภาครัฐเนี่ยเป็นอย่างไรนะคะ Alright so I leave the stage for you and okay let's start thank you
So first of all thank you for inviting me here. I really love Thailand, the people, the food, the climate, everything. Really passionate about this country, so every time I'm really happy to be here. First of all, I think I should explain a bit what and where Estonia is. Estonia is a small country in Northern Europe, 1.3 million people, so quite small. It's quite high in the north, so it's south of Finland, east from Sweden, west from Russia, somewhere in the Baltic Sea, a very small country. We were part of the Soviet Union, so in 1991, when Soviet Union was dismantled, then we gained the opportunity to basically completely reinvent the country. Estonia at that point was a really poor country. We didn't have any resources, our economy was going down. But we made some critical decisions in the very early stages. We basically decided to go digital from the very ground up, from already 1993 to be exact. So this transformation has taken a long, long time. And if there is one point that you can take home from the experience of Estonia and building digital governments, is that actually technology has got very little to do with it. This is mostly about cultural change. This is about reinventing the government. This is about rethinking how people could interact with the government, how can we automatize, how can we be more effective. Currently, Estonia has the most effective public sector per capita globally, and this is because of digitalization throughout 25 years. So the thing governments and politicians need to mostly understand that as this is not so much a technological but the cultural change, it needs time. You cannot change stuff really, really fast, because changing the mindset of bureaucrats, for example, or the citizens and politicians, or the whole ecosystem, this needs time to grow. And I think, as people probably have understood, we've had smartphones for 10 years. The interactions between the society have changed radically. And I think governments should change as well. But so the story of Estonia basically starts in 1993. My father was also part of that government, and we gave unique identifier numbers to people. Basically, it's an ID number. Very simple, but this is the first cornerstone of a digital society. Because there can be a person with a similar name, but if the number is different, it's different. And very important part of this number is that this is a public number. This is like my digital name. I don't have to hide it. I can show it, I can write it, nothing happens. The more fundamental changes came in the beginning of basically 2000s and in the end of 90s. In 1997, we were the first government that started holding governmental meetings digitally. This basically meant that currently the average governmental meeting in Estonia lasts roughly about 15 minutes. The record is something like 22 seconds. One governmental meeting, 22 seconds, and during these 22 seconds, roughly 70 or 80 matters of state are decided. This is achieved through digital tools. To build a digital society, you need two fundamental components. And these two fundamental components actually need time to grow. One of them is the digital ID, or the eID. In Estonia, we've had the digital ID from 2001. It's a very, this is my hotel card, not my ID. I tried to show it. It's a very simple card. Probably you have also similar. But the difference is that I can actually do stuff with this. This is the key to the ecosystem in Estonia. What it means is that basically I can do everything online except buying real estate and getting married. I can vote from this stage here. I can do everything online. We started off with a card. Now we had actually 3 different ways of authenticating ourselves. We have the mobile ID on my phone. We also have a smart ID, which is an app-based solution. Basically, all of them work the same. There is 2 PIN codes. One of them is 4-digit PIN code, and this is for authenticating yourself, for the government or the private sector to know that you are you. As easy as that. And second, and more important, especially for the government, we are able to sign documents digitally. And the digital signature is equal, legally equal to the paper one. This is very important because when you have a digital signature, then you can actually start automatizing all of the digital service, all of the services you got. This means that you never have to stand in line. Probably everybody has felt this once or twice or perhaps even more times in their life, that they are going to some sort of a government authority or a municipality. They wait in a line, same but different. And then when they receive this document, they need to fill out lots of stuff, your name, your birthday, your address, any other information. In Estonia, we don't do that. Nobody stands in line. There is no lines. Everything can be done online, 24/7. It also helps that we have a very important principle, which is once only principle. Once only principle in Estonia means that if you have given any part of your personal information to the government or to the municipality, then the government or the municipality should never ask that again. This means that, for example, in 2001, we started with the automation of our tax system. Currently, the average tax declaration in Estonia takes 3 minutes. I did my taxes this year in 18 seconds. This means that I log in, I see how much the government owes me, I press confirm, and the money that the government owes me is on my bank account the next day. And this was done such in 2001. So this is an old school technology. But this helps a lot because then the people would have more free time to actually spend for something that is important, rather than standing in lines waiting for some documents to arrive with some guy's signature. It takes enormous amount of time. Although Estonia is a really small country with the most effective public sector, then last year we basically saved 1,407 years of work time. Basically, this means that if you would work continuously 1,400 years in a row, we saved this much time. Thailand is roughly 50 times bigger. If you multiply that by 50, then you can imagine how much hassle and stupid labor we can reduce. The other fundamental part and the component in the digital society is a secure way of exchanging information. Because Estonia in the 2090s, I think, was in a way similar. All of the different government offices, different municipalities, different private sector companies, they all have their own information systems. They all have their different cybersecurity methods. They are all very different. You need to somehow exchange information between this network. And you need to do it in a secure way, in a way that you can trust, in a way that no third party can actually change the information within there. So basically we started using technology called X-Road. So if you're more interested in the Estonian governmental system, please look at YouTube. There is X-Road. It explains how the Estonian ecosystem works. Estonia basically has the world's best digital distributed architecture. Distributed architecture means that we do not put all the eggs in one basket. If you make centralized systems, if you build like one ring to rule them all, or puts everything in one basket, then the potential risk becomes also bigger. If the system is broken, if some of the pieces are outdated, the system doesn't work. If this is a critical system, then it's a very bad situation. If you have a distributed architecture, then you can basically, if something happens to one of the components, then the rest of the system can remain operational. And this is very critical when you have big critical information systems such as the population registry, health data, anything else, taxes, whatever, banking, whatever it is. So the distributed architecture is something that actually gives the government the kind of the resilience to adapt to the future. We are all currently living in times where there is rapid technological change. There is constantly new stuff coming. There is self-driving cars, there is artificial intelligence, there is all sorts of stuff. We all have smartphones, we interact with the society and with the city completely differently than we did 10 years ago. Basically, we in Estonia see that the government's job is to build adaptiveness in the society, that the society would withstand these rapid changes. This transformation began when the steam engine was invented. Thus, the rapid population growth of the world began. In 10 years' time, we will have a steam machine every day, completely changing how the society interacts with each other. So we need to be ready for that. And also governments need to be ready. And we very strongly see that the way that the governments operate in a traditional way will not survive these changes. The traditional way of bureaucracy will not survive because the interactions of people will be completely different. The next generation, I have 3 children in my family, the next generation who have born digitally native, they are expecting completely different services. They are not expecting to stand in lines and wait for some sort of a boss to come down and sign a document. They are expecting to get stuff now, wherever they are. So we need to actually change the government as well. And one of the lessons learned from Estonia is that usually when governments start working with digital stuff and digital transformation, then they start taking the analog process, the way bureaucracy works now, and they just make it digital. This is the wrong way, because PDFs are not e-governance. BDFs are just pieces of paper in a computer format. You need to completely redesign the services, and that's why actually the previous presentation was really, really important. This kind of design thinking is important to incorporate within the government as a normal thing. The problem with all of this is that governments are really slow. Governments are really, really slow. And seeing the rate of technological change, then I think we need to work faster. And we need to change it from within. But the problem, again, is that I mentioned this is a cultural thing, this is a mindset thing. So changing the minds of people takes a lot of time. So, just to give you a hint of what we can do in Estonia as well, like I mentioned, we can do everything online except getting married and selling real estate. We have all our health records in computer format since 2008. Since 2008, we don't use any paper documents. So for 10 years, we've had a no paper society. For 10 years. Since 2008, we also started experimenting with blockchain technologies 2008 April. If there is any technology experts here, they know that this was half a year before this Satoshi came out with the Bitcoin white paper. Since 2012, we have all governmental information systems, log files backed up in blockchain. So one very important principle also is that in Estonia, the citizen is the owner of their own information. The government is not the owner of the information. Government is merely providing a service of keeping that information safe and secure. This is very important because I think governments and countries and organizations, they actually need to think what they want to be. And one of the very fundamentals comes that basically, do you want to be a centralized surveillance state, or do you want to be a democratic country? If you want to be a democratic country, then you have to provide legal frameworks, technical solutions to actually do that. Blockchain can help because these in Estonia, as for example, I as a citizen am the owner of my information. I can go to a governmental website and see who has been looking at my data and why and when. This amount of transparency can never be achieved in a paper-based bureaucracy. If with a paper-based bureaucracy, you go to this authority, you write your name, your address, everything. The civil servant takes the paper, puts it in an archive. You never know who has seen that data. In the Estonian system, via blockchain, we can. So we have radical transparency throughout the system. This is very important because when we are moving further to the domain of artificial intelligence and other new technologies, the rapid amount of growing data becomes an issue. You need to be able to control this data, you as the citizen, not you as the government. So if you want to build this kind of a society, then you need to have a plan how to do that. Estonia has lots of examples of how building these systems. We have numbers to show and also lots of expertise how to make these systems. So since 2014, Estonia has also been experimenting with something we call e-residency. E-residency is kind of a virtual residency, nothing similar to the usual residency. It's basically the idea that everybody globally can get an Estonian digital ID and a digital signature backed up by the Estonian government. But when you have this digital ID, then basically you can open a company in Estonia in 18 minutes, never having to go physically to any office or stand in line. You can declare your taxes like small and medium-sized companies. We are currently piloting a tax system called Taxes 3.0, which basically means that small and medium companies would never have to declare anything again because all of the taxes are declared automatically. This saves a lot of time, a lot of bureaucratic hassle, and so on. But with the e-residency, basically a citizen of Thailand can open a company in European Union in 18 minutes. So if you have this kind of work as a freelancer globally or want to do business within the European Union, then probably residency is the most easiest way of doing that. So let's talk about the future as well. I've covered a little bit of basics. There is actually quite a lot more, but within 35 minutes it's relatively difficult to explain it all. I'm responsible for the future, so I'm working with different projects that how can we all pimp up this already pretty advanced government system to something that would withstand the constant changes and be adaptable enough to different radical stuff that we actually cannot see coming. So Estonia is aiming to build an invisible government. Invisible government means that if a citizen is entitled of getting something from the government, they get it automatically. An example of this would be that, for example, this spring, when a new Estonian is born, then both of the parents will receive an email or a WhatsApp message or whatever, how they want to communicate. Congratulations for the boy or the girl. From now on, you will get this much money to that account on that date. Don't worry about kindergarten. Everything has been taken care of. If you want to change anything, click here. And if you want to put a name to the child, please click here. The citizen does not need to fill anything. They just click OK. And we do that for everything, from birth till death. If you die, your next of kin gets a message, sorry for your loss, this is the funeral support. If you lose your job, sorry for that, this is your unemployment money. If you are in an accident and the doctor tells you that, oh, you are handicapped, sorry for that, this is your support for that. And for companies as well, like I mentioned, Taxes 3.0, you don't have to declare anything. The point here is that we see the role of government changing. Invisible government means that civil servants who are currently considered to be guardians or gatekeepers of certain information, they are protecting something valuable. That role should change. Civil servants are here to help and empower the people. The government should change more into a platform rather than a prison. We are hoping that lots of new stuff can help us, including artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, there is a lot of hype in this story, but as lots of experts already know, there has been a lot of change, and especially in a country like Estonia, where we actually have the data. We haven't used paper documents for 10 years, everything is digital, every transaction is somewhere. We can actually teach the algorithms to provide a much better service. I think with artificial intelligence we can automatize lots of decisions from the government side to be more data-driven, to be more adequate, and perhaps also less political. For example, I think some of the decision-making in governments is over-politicized unnecessarily. From today, we already actually have the data that we can utilize. We can use that for better decision-making. Also, in order to make this artificial intelligence work for the society, we actually really need to consider the legal frameworks. Estonia, like I mentioned, I'm an architect, city planner, not a lawyer. Then the fundamental innovations that come from Estonia actually are legal innovations. First one, the ID card or the digital identity must be mandatory for all people. This is very necessary to keep to create the ecosystem together with the private sector. Secondly, the X-Road or the data exchange, this must be mandatory for all government agencies. It's not an optional thing, it's mandatory. For artificial intelligence, we actually need to figure out what's the legal relationship between algorithms and humans. In a very simplistic way, it's about deciding who is guilty when a self-driving car hits the road, but it's also about when a drone falls from the sky or when a self-driving ship has an accident. Or even perhaps when a self-driving ship, a self-driving car, and a self-driving drone, three of them collide. We have to figure out those issues. So I'm responsible for working out the legal framework. The most aggressive version that we are currently debating in Estonia is about granting algorithms separate legal entity status. What does that mean? I presume also in Thailand you have a physical citizen, like me or you. Then you have a company, which is a legal entity. And we are thinking about the third one, which would be an algorithm. Or basically it would be similar to a company or something around that. This is very necessary in order to make the e-governments work more efficiently. What we are also thinking about is how can we build on the distributed architecture model and make it more sustainable. The problem with governmental ICT projects usually is that governments tend to do procurements. Procurement is a bureaucratic, ugly work for lots of paperwork. In Estonia, we want to make ICT procurements really small. Build the digital architecture in a way that it comprises of very small modules that you can interchange when necessary. The point here is that usually when a government does, for example, a new governmental healthcare system, it's a multi-million euro or dollar, or I don't know, it's in baht, it's probably like tens or hundreds of millions of baht you're put into one huge system. The problem with that is that when you are writing procurement rules, then perhaps in next 4 or 5 years the system will be ready. The technology evolves so fast that the system will be already old when it's launched. So you need to actually build the systems in a way that they also would withstand this constant change. But also it means that if any of those components that you make for a healthcare system or for a taxation system, that those would actually remain operational in times of change as well. All of this comes together in a cultural change. This is about actually trusting the people and trusting the government. This is about basically making hierarchies flatter and abolishing all sorts of micromanagement. It's about tactical planning. It's about giving the people the trust to be able to decide for themselves. Making this cultural change is really, really difficult. But I really believe that if you want to build a government for the future, you need to start. And starting actually is very easy. You need to have a plan. I'm sorry, I don't know the details of the local planning and the system, but it fundamentally comes down to digital ID, secure way of exchanging information, and the legal frameworks which back that up. And it's also important to incorporate user-centric thinking and design thinking, as mentioned before, in the government. This can be done by getting younger people involved. Because when I work, for example, then I talk to people who are older than me. People who are younger than me, they are digital natives. They get it by default. You don't have to explain. So I'm hoping that here in Thailand, there is also attraction and need for making governments to work faster, more efficiently, cheaper. In Estonia, we chose digital government because it's the cheapest way to maintain a government. In a country of 1.23 million, with a taxpayers pool about 618,000 people, we don't have the money to maintain a government. Thus, we make stuff digital. Now, when the government is digital, we have more money to build new roads, build new hospitals, schools, and so on. This has helped us. I'm hoping that this will help you as well. And if anybody's interested, I'm here till Monday evening, so we can have a chat or meet or something. But thank you, and thank you for inviting me here.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Marten Kaevats, the National Digital Advisor Government of Estonia, for the very useful information you share for us. ก็เราก็ได้ทราบ หลายๆเรื่องเลยนะคะอย่างหนึ่งที่น่าสนใจมากเลยก็คือเขาเป็น fully digital จริงๆค่ะคือทุกเรื่องเนี่ยเป็นดิจิทัลอย่างแท้จริงเลยนะคะแล้วก็เลิกใช้กระดาษเนี่ยมาตั้งแต่ปี 2008 แล้วมาเป็น10 ปีแล้วนะคะบล็อกเชนเนี่ยใช้มาในปี 2012 นะคะก็เอาไปใช้ในการเก็บข้อมูล information ต่างๆของทางภาครัฐด้วยนะคะจากที่เราได้ฟังเนี่ยดิจิทัล ID card นี่คือสิ่งสำคัญหลักๆเลยของการทำดิจิทัล government นะคะแล้วก็ที่น่าสนใจมากก็คือทุกอย่างเป็นออนไลน์ใช้เวลาเพียงแป๊บเดียวเท่านั้นก็จัดการทุกอย่างเรียบร้อยเกี่ยวกับภาครัฐนะคะเมื่อกี้ที่บอกว่าการทำเรื่องของ tax เนี่ย18 second 18 วินาทีก็เสร็จเรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะเขาคิดในแนวคิดที่ว่าเอาเวลาที่จะต้องเสียเหล่านี้เนี่ยไปทำอย่างอื่นที่มีประโยชน์ดีกว่าCitizen เนี่ยของเขามี 1.3 ล้านคนนะคะแล้วลองคิดดูว่าได้เวลาคืนมากันคนละนิดคนละหน่อยคนละนิดคนละหน่อยถ้าเป็นประเทศไทยเนี่ยเราจะได้เวลากลับมาซึ่งเป็นทรัพยากรที่มีค่ามหาศาลขนาดไหนนะคะอันนี้ก็เป็นแนวคิดที่น่าสนใจมากเลยค่ะเรื่องของการลดเวลารวมไปถึงเรื่องของ distributed architecture นะคะการมีสถาปัตยกรรมแบบกระจายก็คือข้อมูลที่มีความสำคัญเนี่ยถ้าหากว่าเราเก็บไว้ที่เดียวหรือว่ามีระบบต่างๆเก็บไว้ที่เดียวเนี่ยถ้าหากว่ามีอะไรเกิดขึ้นก็จะพังทั้งระบบเลยใช่ไหมคะแต่ถ้าหากว่าเรากระจายกันอยู่ตามที่ต่างๆตรงนี้พังไปเสียหายไปก็ยังเหลืออีกที่หนึ่งที่ยังสามารถที่จะrecover กลับมาได้หรือว่าไม่ได้เสียหายไปทั้งหมดนะคะนี่ก็เป็นคร่าวๆค่ะแต่หลักๆแล้วก็คือประเทศของเขาเนี่ยทุกอย่างเป็นดิจิทัลจริงๆรองรับกับดิจิทัลซิติเซนรุ่นใหม่ๆที่เกิดขึ้นมานะคะเพื่อรับกับดิจิทัลโซไซตี้หรือว่าสังคมดิจิทัลนะคะ Thank you very much and now I would like to inviteคุณไอราดาเหลืองวิไล The Senior Executive Vice President of Digital Government Development Agency or DGA to give the token of appreciation to our speakers ค่ะคุณไอราดาเหลืองวิไลนะคะรองผู้อำนวยการสำนักงานพัฒนารัฐบาลดิจิทัลค่ะได้มอบของที่ระลึกนะคะกับมิสเตอร์มาร์เทนคาวัตส์นะคะ Thank you very much ขอบพระคุณทั้งสองท่านนะคะและเดี๋ยวหลังจากนี้ค่ะก็จะเป็นกิจกรรมที่หลายท่านอาจจะรอคอยนะคะเพราะว่ามีกิจกรรมสนุกบนเวทีนี้กันต่อแจกของด้วยนะคะมาเล่นเกมสนุกกันได้นะคะแล้วก็หลังจากกิจกรรมแจกของกันไปเนี่ยนะคะ 17 นาฬิกาก็จะกลับมาอีกครั้งนะคะกับสปีกเกอร์อีกหนึ่งท่านค่ะซึ่งหลายท่านอาจจะอยากจะพบท่านนี้เพราะดังเหลือเกินนะคะก่อนหน้านี้เนี่ยเรียกได้ว่าไม่มีใครไม่รู้จักท่านนี้เลยนะคะเพราะว่าท่านนี้ก็คือผู้ที่ปฏิบัติภารกิจสำคัญในการเป็นแม่ทัพบัญชาการในการปฏิบัติการช่วยทีมหมูป่า13ชีวิตที่ถ้ำหลวงนะคะท่านผู้ว่าราชการจังหวัดพะเยาคุณณรงค์ศักดิ์ที่จะมาบรรยายนะคะในหัวข้อการบริหารจัดการข้อมูลในภาวะวิกฤตค่ะโอ้สำคัญมากเลยนะคะเดี๋ยวจะได้พบกับท่านนะคะท่านผู้ว่าในเวลา 17 นาฬิกาค่ะและหลังจากนั้นค่ะไม่ทราบว่ามีโอตะมารอหรือยังนะคะเราโอตะเนี่ยนะคะเดี๋ยวจะมีคอนเสิร์ตจากวง BNK48 นะคะในเวลา 18 นาฬิกาค่ะก็เดี๋ยวจะได้สนุกสนานกันที่เวทีแห่งนี้นะคะแต่ตอนนี้เนี่ยเดี๋ยวเอิ้นขออนุญาตนะคะลาเวทีนี้ไปก่อนแต่ว่าสำหรับหนังสือนะคะที่เมื่อกี้เอิ้นพูดถึงนะคะก็คือ Blockchain for Digital Government นะคะนอกจากที่เป็นตัวรูปเล่มแล้วนะคะยังสามารถไปดาวน์โหลดได้ที่เว็บไซต์ dga.or.th นะคะซึ่งเวอร์ชันที่ดาวน์โหลดในเว็บไซต์เนี่ยนะคะจะมีอัปเดตเพิ่มเติมขึ้นมาอีกเล็กน้อยจากเวอร์ชันที่เป็นหนังสือด้วยนะคะแต่ถ้าใครอยากได้เวอร์ชันที่เป็นหนังสือพรุ่งนี้มาลงทะเบียนเป็น50คนแรกใครลงทะเบียนไม่ทันดาวน์โหลดได้เป็น PDF จากเว็บไซต์นะคะเอาละค่ะถ้างั้นในช่วงนี้นะคะดิฉันปานระพีรพิพันธ์นะคะก็ต้องขอลาทุกท่านไปก่อนนะคะแล้วเดี๋ยวพบกับพิธีกรท่านต่อไปพร้อมๆกับกิจกรรมสนุกนะคะวิทยากรและก็ BNK48 ด้วยนะคะวันนี้ลาไปก่อนค่ะขอบพระคุณและสวัสดีค่ะ